school's out, the sun is shining, beach days are a must happen, and the biggest party of the summer, WWE SummerSlam, is right around the corner, coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee, live on July 30th. It will be a Saturday. I am so excited for the biggest party of the summer, and to get us prepared for that, the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast has created a list of the 29 greatest SummerSlam matches ever. Now, this match list is subjective. These matches were picked by me, and they don't cover every SummerSlam. They do cover the matches that I consider the most epic and entertaining SummerSlam matches of all time. We have matches like Edge versus Seth Rollins from 2021. We have matches like Bret Hart versus Undertaker for SummerSlam 1997, and so much more. SummerSlam has made epic matches and rivalries. All here for you. Keep on listening. Get ready for a countdown of the greatest SummerSlam matches of all time. All right, so kicking off our greatest SummerSlam matches ever countdown, we're going to go all the way back to 1991 in Madison Square Garden. The WWE Intercontinental Champion, Mr. Perfect, with the coach, defending against the Hitman, Bret Hart. And this is a match that a lot of wrestlers study. A lot of fans love this match. Whether it be a SummerSlam match or just a regular contest, fans and wrestlers alike go to this match because it is one of the greatest matches of all time. So I'm going to give you a couple of play-by-play notes. Obviously, you can go on Peacock and watch it, or if you're out of the States, you can check it out on the WWE Network. Just type in SummerSlam 1991 and you can check out the match. So the match starts and Bret nails a crossbody and Mr. Perfect chops Bret. Perfect tries to leave, but Bret Hart sends him back into the ring, and Bret rips off Mr. Perfect's singlet. Perfect nails a chop shot over the ref, and then Perfect pushes Bret Hart off the apron into the railing outside of the ring. Perfect then sends Bret into the post, and he whips Bret Hart into the post for a second time. And then Perfect nails a beautiful snap neck breaker and gets a 2 count. After this, Perfect nails a drop kick, sending Bret into the outside. Both men climb the top rope, and they both fall into the ring. Perfect slaps Bret, and he tosses Bret around the ring. And then Perfect nails a perfect plex, but gets a 2 count. Bret nails an atomic drop, headbutt, and then he tosses Perfect across the ring, and Perfect's legs go right through the ring post. That hurt. Bret nails a suplex, gets a 2 count. A neck breaker, 2 count. Then he nails a backbreaker and a flying fist drop and another 2 count. Perfect is not giving up. Bret then punches the coach, and Perfect kicks Bret's legs, and Perfect with a leg drop between the legs. However, Perfect applies the figure 4, and Bret is able to reverse it into a sharpshooter, and your winner is Bret Hart. This is a great match. I definitely recommend you checking it out. It is just phenomenal, the fact that these two were just going at it as hard as they did. Great, amazing match. Definitely check that one out. Next up, we are going to SummerSlam 1992 live in London, England, Wembley Stadium. And we are seeing the WWE Intercontinental Champion Bret the Hitman Hart defending against his brother-in-law, the British Bulldog. Some notes about this one: British Bulldog with a shoulder block, sending Bret to the outside. Bret applies a hammerlock, and Bulldog catapults Bret into the post. Then Bulldog monkey lifts Bret, and then nails a headbutt, an Irish whip, and then Bret with feet to the British Bulldog in the corner. Bret nails a Bulldog, and Bulldog actually drops Bret Hart off the top rope. Bret dives onto the British Bulldog outside the ring, and he runs Bulldog back into the post. Bret then nails a headbutt and a neck breaker and gets a 2 count. Bret then with a double elbow drop and gets a 2. And another 2 count. Bulldog not giving up. He wants that title. Bret then yanks Bulldog by the ear to the mat. Bulldog press slams Bret Hart into the ropes and then nails a clothesline and gets a 2 count. Bulldog with a huge press slam and a delayed suplex and gets a 2. Bulldog nails a power slam and gets another 2. Bret nails a German bridge and gets a 2 count. Finally, the end comes and Bret applies a sharpshooter. and Bret goes for a sunset flip. However, Bulldog rolls up Bret Hart, and your new Intercontinental Champion is the British Bulldog. This was a great match. His wife, Diana, was in attendance. His wife being British Bulldog, Bret's sister. It was just such a great celebration for England to have their hometown man go home champion. Great match, great technical effort on both parts. Great, awesome stuff. Bret Hart continues being the King of Survivor of SummerSlam up until this point. We are now going to skip over here and go to 1994. Again, Bret the Hitman Hart is in action, this time defending his WWE Championship against his brother, the King of Hearts, Owen Hart, in a special steel cage match. Epic match. A lot of people say this is their favorite SummerSlam match of all time as well. Couple play-by-play notes here. Both men brawl to start. Owen rakes the eyes of Bret, but Bret hits a DDT. He then nails a leg drop, and Bret climbs, but Owen Hart stops him. Owen nails an enziguri, and Bret suplexes Owen off of the cage. Owen drops Bret Hart off the cage and climbs over the cage, but Bret grabs him, and the two hit each other. Owen drops Bret, and then nails a missile dropkick to Bret Hart. Owen climbs over the cage, and Bret stops him and climbs. Owen with punches, and Bret bounces Owen Hart off of the cage. They both continue to climb the cage and are not able to make it over. Owen with a back suplex to Bret Hart, sending him off of the cage. Owen then nails a pile driver, and both men climb and fall to the mat. The two brawl, and Owen Irish whips Bret Hart hard into the ring post. Bret then kicks Owen off the cage, and they hit a double clothesline on each other. Bret suplexes Owen off of the cage to the mat. Owen eventually is able to apply a sharpshooter to Bret. Bret reverses into his own sharpshooter. Both men climb the cage and go over, but Owen Hart's foot gets caught in the cage, and Bret is able to jump down and successfully defend and retain his WWE Championship against his brother. A lot of people say this match is better than the WrestleMania 10 match. However, I think both matches are great and different and unique. Bret Hart just kicking ass, proving why he is the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be at SummerSlam. All right, we are now going to 1995. The WWE Intercontinental Championship on the line. The Intercontinental Champion, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, defending against Razor Ramon in a ladder match. Special rematch from the WrestleMania 10 ladder match a year prior. And this is another great one. Razor Irish whips Shawn over the post to the outside. Shawn then attacks Razor on the ramp, and Razor suplexes Shawn to the outside, and Shawn's leg ends up catching the railing as he comes down. Shawn nails Razor with a ladder, and he climbs, but Razor pulls Shawn down. Shawn's leg is trapped in the ladder, and Razor steps on it, and then Razor slams Shawn's knee into the ladder for good measure. We then see a body slam on the ladder to Shawn Michaels. Razor sets up the ladder in the corner, and he slams Shawn's leg into the post. Shawn then sends Razor into the ladder, and he backdrops Razor Ramon off the ladder to the mat. Shawn then misses a splash, but lands a moonsault off of the ladder. Razor hits a Razor's Edge off of the ladder to Shawn Michaels, which is intense to see. Razor goes for Razor's Edge again, but Shawn backdrops Razor outside. Shawn climbs, and it's pretty funny, he fails numerous times to grab the title. He finally gets the Intercontinental title and successfully defends it at SummerSlam. This was another great match. This match kind of brought a little bit more of a sort of attitude element to the ladder match. The first one was a little bit more of a technical, whereas this one was more brawling, a lot of more action coming at you. Definitely check this one out. SummerSlam 1996. Moving right along to 1996, we have the special Boiler Room Brawl match between Mankind and The Undertaker. These two have been going at it for the better half of the first part of 1996, and these two were ultimately going to have a climax tonight at SummerSlam. The match starts in the Boiler Room, and Undertaker searches for Mankind backstage in the Boiler Room. However, Mankind attacks Undertaker from behind with a pipe. Undertaker pulls Mankind off of a ladder and sends him hard to the ground concrete floor. Undertaker sprays Mankind in the face with a fire extinguisher. Mankind then nails a pile driver on the concrete outside of the ring. Undertaker pushes Mankind off of the apron to the concrete floor, and then Undertaker bows before Paul Bearer, hoping to get the urn. Mankind applies a mandible claw as Paul Bearer laughs, and then Bearer stomps on Undertaker, and then Paul hits the Undertaker with the urn and gives it to Mankind. This is the shocking betrayal of Paul Bearer, who had been managing Undertaker for 6 years at this point. Mankind getting the win. Great match, great hardcore stuff. Definitely check it out. We are now at 1997 SummerSlam. The WWE Championship on the line. The champion, The Undertaker, defending against Bret the Hitman Hart, with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee for this contest. The match starts with Bret attacking Undertaker, which tosses Bret into the post with punches. Undertaker sends Bret into the railing and post outside of the ring. Bret then tosses Undertaker into the steps. Undertaker runs Bret's spine into the post twice. Undertaker nails a backbreaker and then applies a bear hug and a big boot. Bret applies a figure 4 and Paul Bearer walks out to the ring. Undertaker reverses a figure 4 and nails Paul Bearer outside the ring. However, Bret Hart chop blocks Undertaker's knee outside, and Bret applies a figure 4 across the ring post. Bret then pulls at Undertaker's leg. Undertaker hits Bret Hart with a chokeslam and a pin count, but Shawn Michaels is dealing with the Hart Foundation members who come to ringside. Bret then hits a backbreaker and gets a 2 count, and then double fist from the top. Undertaker again another 2 count. Undertaker then drops Bret Hart face first into the ring post, and then Bret attacks the Undertaker's back and nails a leg drop. Undertaker chokeslam Bret Hart from the apron into the ring and gets a 2 count. Bret eventually applies a sharpshooter, and Undertaker is able to reverse it, sending Bret to the outside. Bret then applies a sharpshooter around the ring post, which is interesting to see. But Undertaker sends Bret to the floor onto Shawn Michaels outside. Bret then nails the Undertaker with a steel chair and gets a 2 count. Shawn Michaels goes to hit Bret Hart with a chair, but Bret moves and Shawn accidentally nails the Undertaker, and Bret Hart gets the pin. A great match between two great Hall of Famers. Undertaker and Bret Hart gave it their all, and that extra element of Shawn Michaels being involved added a nice dose of entertainment. Definitely check this one out. We are now moving on to 1998, the Highway to Hell SummerSlam Live in Madison Square Garden in New York City. And the match we're talking about is for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, the special ladder match between the champion The Rock and Triple H. And the match starts with Triple H sending The Rock into the railing outside, Triple H with a knee lift. Rock then sends Triple H into the ladder outside, and The Rock tosses Triple H into a ladder. Triple H slams the ladder onto The Rock's chest. The Rock kicks Triple H's leg and then attacks the leg. Rock puts Triple H's knee in the ladder and stomps his knee. The Rock then uses a chair, hitting the ladder and Triple H's ankle, injuring and hurting that ankle. Rock then wraps Triple H's knee across the post and he drops Triple H's knee onto the ladder. Rock then eventually catapults Triple H onto the ladder outside, and he backdrops Triple H onto a ladder in the ring. Mark Henry grabs Triple H, but Chyna punches Mark Henry, and then Triple H pushes the ladder over while Rock is on it, trying to climb for the title. Rock then climbs and serves Triple H. The Rock ends up putting Triple H off of the ladder, and Triple H rebounds, sending Rock off as well. Chyna tosses a chair to Triple H, but The Rock has a ladder. However, Triple H uses the chair and nails The Rock, but then setting the ladder on The Rock's body. And then Triple H repeatedly nails The Rock with a steel chair. Rock eventually body slams Triple H on the ladder, and then he nails a people's elbow. Triple H nails a low blow on The Rock, and then The Rock hits The Rock bottom. Triple H then pulls The Rock off the ladder and nails a pedigree. Both men climb. Chyna then comes into the ring, low blows The Rock, and Triple H grabs the Intercontinental Championship to become your new Intercontinental Champion. What a great match and an epic performance from both men. And they are definitely showing that they could be main eventers someday. We are still at 1998, and our next match is for the WWE Championship. The champion Stone Cold Steve Austin defending against the dead man, the Phenom, The Undertaker. And the match starts with Undertaker hot-shotting Stone Cold Steve Austin to the ropes, and he gets a 2 count. Undertaker then punches Stone Cold in the back. Stone Cold then rams Undertaker's leg into the apron, and then he rams Undertaker's leg into the post as well. Undertaker nails a leaping clothesline, and then he chokes Stone Cold. Stone Cold attacks Undertaker's leg, and then Kane walks out to the ring. Undertaker tells Kane to go backstage. Undertaker then chokeslams Stone Cold from the apron into the ring.
The two men both fight outside the ring, and then Austin and Undertaker fight in the crowd. Undertaker backdrops Stone Cold on the concrete and then sends Stone Cold into the ring post. Undertaker tosses Stone Cold over the ropes to the outside again. Undertaker then eventually puts Stone Cold on a table and nails a flying leg drop through the table to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Double clothesline, then Stone Cold with the Dez press and an elbow shot. Undertaker chokeslams Stone Cold, and then he dumps Stone Cold over the top rope. Undertaker nails a Russian leg sweep, and he goes for old school. However, Austin hits a low blow and a stunner, and Stone Cold retains the title. After the match, Undertaker and Austin embrace, and Undertaker hands Stone Cold the title. A great match. I definitely recommend you all checking out. Moving right along to the new millennium, we were at SummerSlam 2000, and we have the first ever tables, ladders, and chairs match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. The champions Edge and Christian defending against the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. And Edge nails a Russian leg sweep to Devon and Jeff Hardy, sending him off of the ladder. Bubba Ray then hits Christian with a bubble bomb off of the ladder. Edge pushes Jeff off the ladder onto another ladder, sending that ladder right into Matt Hardy's face. It looked very dangerous and that it hurt. The Dudleys nailed 3D to Christian through a table, and then they set up 4 ladders on top of each other outside of the ring. Matt with a flying leg drop off the ladder onto Edge, and then Jeff Hardy leapfrogs over a ladder with a leg drop to Edge from the top rope. Crazy scene seeing that. Matt then puts Edge inside the ladder, and he tosses Christian on top of the ladders, really hurting Edge. Jeff goes for a swanton bomb off the ladder to Bubba Ray Dudley through a table, but Bubba moves, and then Bubba climbs the ladder, but Edge and Christian push him over, sending Bubba through all 4 tables that are set up outside of the ring. Edge and Christian climb, but Lita runs down to the ring and pushes the ladder over. Great to see Lita. Matt climbs, and then Devon pushes Matt off the ladder through the tables as well. And then Edge spears Lita outside. Devon and Jeff hang from the ladders, but Edge and Christian knock Jeff Hardy off by tossing the ladder at both men. And then Edge and Christian grab the titles and retain the WWE Tag Team Championships. Definitely recommend this first ever TLC match. Moving right to the next year, we are now at SummerSlam 2001. The WWE Champion Stone Cold Steve Austin defending against Kurt Angle. The whole alliance versus WWE is in full swing by the summer. The match starts with 2 fight on a ramp, and then the 2 brawl into the ring. Kurt nails a clothesline and a crossbody and gets a 2 count. Stone Cold then nails a clothesline to the outside of the ring. Stone Cold backdrops Kurt Angle to the outside, and then Austin hits a suplex. 2 more, and then he gets a 2 count. Kurt nails an amazing 7 German suplexes. Stone Cold then chops Kurt on the top rope, and then Austin nails a stunner and gets a 2 count. Austin nails a second stunner, sending Kurt Angle to the outside. Austin then sends Kurt into the post, and Kurt is bleeding really badly at this point. Austin then sends him into the post 3 more times. And then Austin bounces Kurt's head off of the announce table. Austin then nails a suplex to Kurt on the concrete. Kurt then locks in the ankle lock on Stone Cold Steve Austin outside. Kurt then drags Austin into the ring and applies ankle lock again. But that doesn't do anything. Kurt then hits a moonsault and gets a 2 count. Austin locks in a Cobra clutch and then nails a stunner and gets a 2. Kurt with an angle slam gets a 2 count. And then Stone Cold nails the referee. Kurt Angle hits a DDT and gets a 2 count. Stone Cold hits a low blow and a stunner, still gets a 2 count. Well, there's no referee at this point in the ring because the referee's knocked out. Angle nails a second angle slam on the WCW referee, who comes into the ring. And he applies the ankle lock, and I think Nick Patrick from WCW run down, calls for the bell after Austin hit a referee, disqualifying Stone Cold. So Kurt wins the match by disqualification, but not the title. After the match, Kurt attacks referee Nick Patrick. Crazy way to end that match. We are now at SummerSlam 2002, and we have Kurt Angle taking on the newly arrival man on the scene, Rey Mysterio. The match starts with Rey nailing a springboard Hurricane Rana from behind. Rey with a roll-up, but Kurt gets a clothesline. Kurt applies a half Boston Crab, and then Kurt lands a belly-to-belly. However, Rey lands an arm drag. Ray jumps over the referee and lands a dive onto Kurt Angle outside the ring, which looked amazing to see. Ray jumps over the ref. Oh, we just said that, sorry. Ray with a springboard leg drop and gets a 2 count. Ray's eventually able to land a 619 and a West Coast pop and gets a 2. However, Kurt applies the ankle lock and Ray is quick to tap. Great match, great showing for both men. Definitely watch Ray versus Kurt SummerSlam 2002. And we are staying at SummerSlam 2002 for a special unsanctioned match between former best friends in Triple H and the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. This is Shawn Michaels' first match back since 1998. So it was definitely a match that everyone is looking forward to seeing. Here are some quick notes. Shawn Michaels sends Triple H into the post outside, and then Triple H dumps Shawn Michaels over the railing. Shawn Michaels nails Triple H with a trash can lid, and then a double axe handle to Triple H. Triple H nails 2 backbreakers, and then whips Shawn Michaels hard into the post. Triple H then nails Shawn Michaels in the back with a steel chair, and then nails Shawn Michaels on a chair with a DDT, gets a 2 count, and Shawn Michaels is bleeding. Triple H whips Shawn Michaels with a belt, however, and then he punches Shawn Michaels as well. Sorry. Triple H locks in the abdominal stretch, and then he pushes Earl Hebner, and Earl Hebner pushes Triple H right back. Triple H then pushes the referee into the ropes, and Shawn Michaels falls on top. Triple H nails Shawn Michaels back with a steel chair. Triple H then with a backbreaker to Shawn Michaels on a steel chair and gets a 2 count, a sidewalk slam on a chair, and again Shawn Michaels continue to kick out of this. Shawn Michaels low blows Triple H and then nails a sweet chin music. And Triple H has a steel chair in front of him, so he gets hit with the chair. Triple H is now bleeding as well. Shawn Michaels lands a leaping punch and then a backdrop, and then a chair shot to Triple H's face. Shawn Michaels then takes off Hugo Savange's boot, and he bounces Triple H's head off the steps and hits Triple H with the boot. Shawn Michaels then runs a ladder into Triple H's face and rams it into his chest, and then he nails a superplex and gets a 2 count. Shawn Michaels with a drop toe hold Triple H onto the ring steps, and then Shawn Michaels hits Triple H with a fire extinguisher. However, H lands on a table, and then Shawn Michaels with a flying splash through Triple H through a table. Shawn Michaels then climbs a ladder and lands a flying elbow drop to Triple H. Triple H then goes for a pedigree, but Shawn Michaels ends up rolling him up to get the win. However, after the match, Triple H nails his best friend Shawn Michaels with a sledgehammer twice, re-injuring the back. It's definitely a match I suggest you checking out. It is an amazing, amazing match. Definitely check that out. In our third and final match from SummerSlam 2002, we have the WWE Championship on the line. The champion, The Rock, taking on the next big thing, Brock Lesnar, with Paul Heyman on his side. Lesnar with a belly-to-belly and then 2 backbreakers to The Rock. Brock Lesnar then clotheslines The Rock over the railing into the crowd. Lesnar then lifts up The Rock and drops him into the railing. Rock nails punches. However, Lesnar nails a power slam and gets a 2 count, and then Brock accidentally runs into the ring post. The Rock applies a sharpshooter, and Lesnar nails The Rock with a steel chair and applies a bear hug. Brock slams Paul Heyman's head into the announce table, and The Rock catapults Brock into the post. Rock then nails a rock bottom to Paul Heyman through the announce table, which was awesome. Brock then nails a rock bottom to Brock Lesnar, but Brock kicks out at 2. Brock then nails a rock bottom, and Rock kicks out at 2. Brock hits a spine buster, however, Lesnar gets a quick and nails a clothesline. And then Lesnar nails an F5 and gets a 3, and Brock Lesnar is your new WWE champion. This was the start of Brock Lesnar championship reign, and it was also the send-off for The Rock to go do some Hollywood movies for a little bit. Great match. Definitely check out SummerSlam 2002, Brock Lesnar versus The Rock. Moving through the 2000s, and we are in 2003, the WWE Championship is on the line again. This time, WWE Champion Kurt Angle will be defending against Brock Lesnar. Kurt Angle attacks Lesnar from behind on the ramp. He sends Brock into the railing. Brock then press slams Kurt Angle to the outside, and he tosses Kurt into the steps. Kurt rolls up Brock and gets a 2 count. Brock then nails a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker and gets a 2 as well. Kurt fights back but gets met with a knee to the chest. And then Brock with running shoulders to Kurt Angle in the corner. However, Brock ends up running to the ring post, and then Kurt Angle shoulder blocks Brock Lesnar. And then Kurt's able to knock Brock Lesnar down. Kurt nails 3 Germans. However, Brock lands a belly to belly. Kurt's able to nail an angle slam and gets a 2 count. Kurt then applies the ankle lock. However, Brock sends Kurt Angle into the referee. Vince McMahon runs down to the ring. Kurt Angle applies a leg sweeper on Brock and then the ankle lock. Brock is able to get to the ropes, but the referee is knocked out and Brock Lesnar taps out. However, because the ref is knocked out, no one sees this. Vince McMahon then nails Kurt Angle in the back with a chair. Brock hits an F5, gets a 2 count. Kurt then applies the ankle lock. Brock gets to the ropes, and then Kurt pulls Brock back into the middle of the ring. Brock eventually taps out, and there you have it. Kurt Angle defending the title against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2003. Check that out. We are now moving on to SummerSlam 2005, and this was a great SummerSlam for numerous reasons. So many great matches took place here, but one of the matches that we're going to talk about is the special Custody of Dominic ladder match between Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. This is a lot of people's favorite SummerSlam match, so let's go right into the action with this one. The match starts and Rey nails a springboard dropkick, sending Eddie Guerrero off the ladder. Rey nails a baseball slide, and he ends up sliding the ladder into Eddie's face, and then Rey nails a Sia senton to the outside. Eddie sends a ladder into Rey, and then he drop kicks a ladder onto Rey Mysterio's body. Rey backdrops Eddie off the ladder, and both men fall hard off the ladder to the mat. Eddie launches Rey's ribs first into the ladder in the corner. Eddie then climbs. However, Dominic comes in and he shakes the ladder. It's funny seeing young Dominic now that we know he's a current wrestler on the roster. But anyways, Dominic comes in, shakes the ladder. Eddie turns around and shakes his finger at Dominic. He yells at Dominic, "You're gonna love me. I'm your new daddy now." And then Rey attacks. Rey nails a 619 on the ladder to Eddie and a drop of dime on top of Eddie, who has a ladder on top of him. So he was sandwiched there. Rey again then drops Eddie off the ladder. Eddie's able to climb and he's dangling on the cable. As Rey moves the ladder, he then drops Eddie to the mat hard. Eddie climbs the ladder again. Vicky comes running out. The girl yells at Eddie, and then she pushes the ladder and Eddie lands on the ropes, and Rey climbs the ladder to regain the custody of Dominic. Great match. A lot of interference from Vicky. She missed her spot. She was supposed to come out when Eddie was dangling on the cable, but it's okay. She did end up coming out in the end. Definitely a great match, worth checking out. Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero, SummerSlam 2005. Moving right along, let's skip over a couple of years and we're heading to 2008, the biggest blockbuster match on the card. One of them at least. The match starts with Batista nailing a clothesline and a huge suplex, and he gets a 2. Cena nails a fisherman suplex, and Batista hits a side slam and gets a 2 count. Cena with a shoulder block, and then he nails a slam and a 5-knuckle rumble. Batista nails a spine buster. Cena applies an STFU. However, Batista grabs the bottom rope, breaking the hold. Cena counters a spine buster into an FU and gets a 2 count. Both men climb the top. Cena jumps, however, Batista plants a sit-out powerbomb and gets a 2 count. And then Batista nails a Batista bomb to get the win. It was a great match. A lot of stuff happening here. These two guys are giving it their all, and I definitely recommend checking this one out. John Cena versus Batista, SummerSlam 2008. We are staying at SummerSlam 2008 for our next match. It is a special Hell in a Cell match between Edge and The Undertaker, and everybody knew that this match was probably going to steal the show, as it had almost stolen the show at WrestleMania 24 had it not been for Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair. Let's go over this match. Undertaker nails a big boot to Edge. He tosses Edge into the cell and lands a leg drop on the apron. Undertaker sets up the steps in the corners. However, Edge tosses Undertaker into the steps, and then Edge drop kicks and spears the Undertaker into the steps. Edge nails the Undertaker in the face with a chair shot twice. He puts Taker on a table, and then Edge climbs a ladder with the chair, and he drops the chair onto Undertaker, sending Undertaker through the table. Undertaker big boots Edge off the apron into the cell, and he runs the steel steps into Edge's face. Edge tosses Taker's head into the post, and then he spears the Undertaker through the cell. Undertaker then nails the Undertaker with, Edge then nails the Undertaker with a monitor twice. Edge runs across the announce tables and spears the Undertaker through a table. This is all happening outside of the ring. Edge then grabs a TV camera and he hits the Undertaker with it and gets a 2 count. Taker comes back with a huge clothesline choke slam and gets a 2. He nails the last ride and still gets a 2 count. And then Edge slams Undertaker's back onto the steps. Edge goes for old school, but Undertaker drops him on the ropes. Undertaker then chokeslam Edge through 2 tables that are set up outside of the ring. Undertaker then spears Edge and he nails him with the camera. He hits a one-man concerto to Edge, and then he nails a tombstone and gets a 3 count. After the match, Undertaker hits a last ride to Edge through the ring, and then fire shoots up from the ring. Great match, great cinematography, a lot of stuff happening. Definitely check out that match. Next, we are going to skip the year 2010 and move on to 2011, and we have the special no holds barred match between the world champion Christian defending against the challenger Randy Orton. These men have had many brawls in the past, and this match is going to culminate the rivalry. Randy nails a backdrop and he stomps Christian. Christian then stands on Randy Orton's back, and Orton is able to toss Christian into the railing outside. Randy then punches Christian in the corner and he accidentally runs into the ring post. Christian then attacks Randy with a kendo stick and he chokes Randy with the stick. Christian nails a reverse suplex, and then Orton leaps over a spear attempt by Christian. Orton tosses Christian's knees first over the steps. Randy nails an RKO to Christian through the announce table set up at ringside. Christian then spits on Randy. He misses a concerto shot. Randy nails Christian with a chair, and then he also hits Christian another chair shot maneuver, sending Christian through a table outside. Randy then power slams Christian through a table in the ring, and then Christian nails Randy with kendo stick shots. Christian hits Randy with a kendo stick, however, Randy is able to maneuver that and hit an RKO to Christian on the ring steps. Great match. Check that one out. We are now at SummerSlam 2013, and we are going to see the Beast versus the Best in a no disqualification match. CM Punk taking on Brock Lesnar. Here is what happened. Brock tosses Punk across the ring. Punk nails high knees to Lesnar, sending him outside. Punk then dives onto Lesnar outside of the ring, and he grabs the steel steps, but Lesnar runs at Punk, dropping him. Punk goes after Paul Heyman, but Lesnar attacks, and Lesnar then tosses Punk over the announce table. Lesnar nails a belly-to-belly outside of the ring, and he applies a bear hug. Paul Heyman yells at CM Punk to stay down, and then Lesnar with knees to Punk's head while he's on the mat. Punk's able to nail a roundhouse kick and a flying elbow drop, but gets a 2 count. Lesnar nails a running power bomb and 3 amigos. Punk is able to dive onto Lesnar, who has a chair, and then Punk nails Lesnar with many chair shots. Lesnar goes for an F5, but Punk grabs Paul Heyman, and then Punk nails a GTS and gets a 2 count. Punk chases Paul around the ring, and Lesnar is able to go for an F5, but again, Punk counters into a DDT, and this time it gets a 2 count. Punk then locks in the Anaconda Vice. However, he gets distracted by punching Paul Heyman and applying the Anaconda Vice on Paul. And then Lesnar hits Punk with a chair and nails an F5 on the steel chair, and Brock Lesnar is your winner. Distraction by Paul Heyman, allowing Lesnar to get the win. Great match. Check it out. And we are staying at SummerSlam 2013 for this match that a lot of people enjoy. It is the WWE Championship. Triple H is the special guest referee for this contest. The champion John Cena defending against Daniel Bryan. A lot at stake here. Daniel tosses Cena into the steps, and Cena ends up suplexing Bryan off the steps and gets a 2 count. Daniel Bryan hits the yes kicks, and then Cena drops Bryan, but he's able to then nail a 5-knuckle shuffle after Bryan tries to kick him. Bryan applies an STFU, which is Cena's signature maneuver. Then Bryan nails a bridging German and gets a 2 count. Cena lands an FU and gets a 2. Bryan kicks Cena on top and nails a superplex. Cena lands a flying leg drop across Daniel Bryan's neck across the ropes. Cena then catches Bryan on top and drops him. He applies an STFU. However, Bryan counters into a yes lock. The end comes after Bryan kicks Cena in the face and nails a running knee and becomes your new WWE champion. We're going to skip a year, go to the year 2015, and we have the winners takes all match. We have the WWE US champion John Cena defending his title against the WWE champion Seth Rollins. A lot at stake here. Cena lands a belly to belly and gets a 2 count. Rollins nails a top rope blockbuster. Rollins then dives onto Cena outside 3 times. Seth then nails a springboard, but Cena catches him and lands a suplex. Rollins then nails a double knee from the top rope and a standing shooting star press and gets a 2. Seth stomps John Cena from the top while Cena is tied upside down, and that still gets Seth a 2 count. Cena nails a top rope leg drop to Seth Rollins' neck across the ropes, and that leads to 2 count. Rollins nails a buckle bomb and then a frog splash. However, Cena is able to lift up Rollins, but Rollins nails an enziguri. Cena applies the STFU and then the figure 4, but Rollins is able to reverse that move. Rollins misses a flying splash, and the referee gets knocked out at this point. Cena hits a FU, but there is no referee. Seth then hits a knee to Cena's face, and Jon Stewart, comedian, runs down to the ring with a chair, and he ends up hitting John Cena with the steel chair. After that, Rollins nails a pedigree, and he is your winner. Screw job there by Jon Stewart. Check that match out. We now go to SummerSlam 2016, and this was one of my favorite SummerSlam matches of all times. It was the first time we got to see not the first time we got to see the two of them fight, but it was the first time these two fought on a big scale stage like this. John Cena taking on the phenomenal AJ Styles. Let's dive right into what happened in this match. AJ suplexes John Cena onto the apron. Cena nails a huge backdrop and then a drop kick and gets a 2. Cena nails a shoulder block and a 5-knuckle shuffle. Cena then goes for a FU, but AJ Styles is able to nail a Pele kick, a Styles clash, and he gets a 2 count. Cena is able to come back and nail an FU and gets a 2. Styles then nails his awesome torture rack to the sit-out powerbomb maneuver and gets a 2 count. Styles misses a springboard 450 splash, and Cena nails a really cool code red that also gets Cena a 2 count. Back and forth action. Cena applies an STFU. Styles is able to reverse it into a crossface, and then he applies a calf crusher, and then Cena is able to reverse that into an STFU. A lot of reverses back and forth. Cena nails a guillotine leg drop and gets a 2 count. AJ nails a springboard hurricanrana off the top to Cena. A phenomenal forearm, still gets a 2. Both men not staying down. Cena climbs to the top with AJ. Cena nails a top rope FU, another 2 count. And finally, AJ gets the win after nailing a Styles clash and a phenomenal forearm. And that gets the 3 count win for Styles. Great match, great action. These two would go on to continue fighting and fight at the Royal Rumble. But this was a great match on its own. Definitely check it out. AJ Styles versus John Cena, SummerSlam 2016. We now go to 2017 SummerSlam, where we have a special Raw Tag Team Titles match. The champions, The Bar, which is the team of Sheamus and Cesaro, going on against The Shield, which is Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Although they weren't really in their Shield attire, that's just what I call them. So the Shield start off with drop kicks to Cesaro, and they send both members of The Bar outside. Sheamus nails a bro kick to Dean Ambrose outside of the ring. Rollins nails a blockbuster to Cesaro, which is really cool to see. Seth Rollins tosses Cesaro outside, and then Cesaro holds his knee, making like it hurts. But the Bar is able to attack Seth Rollins outside. However, Ambrose flies onto all men outside the ring. Dean Ambrose dives onto Sheamus outside and nails a neckbreaker to Cesaro. Rollins and Ambrose nail a combo sling blade to Cesaro, but that gets a 2 count. Dean Ambrose nails a superplex to Sheamus, and Seth Rollins hits a frog splash, but Cesaro breaks it up. Cesaro backdrops Seth Rollins outside, and then Cesaro swings Dean Ambrose and applies a sharpshooter. Cesaro applies a crossface to Ambrose. The Bar nail a combo top rope clothesline to Dean Ambrose, and that gets a 2 count. Seth Rollins hurricane runs Cesaro into Sheamus, and then Rollins nails a super kick, and Ambrose hits a dirty deeds, gets it to Sheamus, and that gets a 3 count victory. And your new Raw Tag Team Champions are Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. This was a great match from start to finish, especially for a tag match. Me go back to the earlier days of SummerSlam, the third great back and forth tag action, but this was a great match. SummerSlam 2017, the Bar versus Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. We are staying at SummerSlam 2017 because we have the WWE Universal title. Amazing match we have the WWE Universal Champion Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman taking on Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Samoa Joe. All of these men are huge, big athletes, monsters in the ring. Let's talk about the action. Lesnar suplexes Samoa Joe right away. Reigns sends Strowman into the post outside. Lesnar German suplexes Roman Reigns. He then nails a German to Samoa Joe. However, Strowman and Lesnar take out Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. Braun Strowman accidentally runs into the post. Samoa Joe applies a coquina clutch to Brock Lesnar, and Reigns spears Brock Lesnar through the railing outside of the ring, which definitely affected him badly. Took him out for a bit. Samoa Joe nails a Uranagi to Roman Reigns on the announce table, and then Strowman clotheslines Samoa Joe over the table. Strowman then power slams Brock Lesnar through an announce table, taking him out. Strowman tosses a chair at Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. Strowman power slams Brock Lesnar through another table, and then tosses a third table on top of Brock Lesnar. Medics come out and take Brock Lesnar backstage. Strowman hits Roman and Samoa Joe with the ring steps. Samoa Joe hits a big boot and a senton to Roman Reigns. He gets a 2 count. Joe applies the coquina clutch to Roman. Strowman nails a double choke slam. Strowman covers Roman and gets a 2. Brock Lesnar comes out, returns, and he attacks Strowman, and he Germans Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. Roman spears Lesnar and gets a 2 count. Joe applies the coquina clutch on Roman, but Braun Strowman drop kicks both men. Braun power slam to Roman Reigns, and then Lesnar breaks up the pinfall. Samoa Joe applies the coquina clutch on Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar nails an F5, and Roman Reigns breaks up the pin. Roman with 3 Superman punches to Brock Lesnar. However, Brock Lesnar nails an F5 to Roman Reigns and gets a 3 count, and Brock Lesnar retains. An amazing non-stop action main event. Definitely check that match out. We are now at SummerSlam 2018, the WWE Intercontinental title on the line. The champion Dolph Ziggler with his friend Drew McIntyre by his side, defending against Seth Rollins with his friend Dean Ambrose at his side. The match starts when Ziggler stomps Seth Rollins and then sends Rollins into the post. And Ziggler attacks the leg. Ziggler applies a sleeper on Rollins. However, Rollins is able to eventually catch Dolph Ziggler, and he suplexes both Dolph and himself to the outside. Rollins nails a blockbuster, gets a 2 count. Rollins goes on the top rope, but Ziggler rolls out of the ring. Rollins clotheslines him outside and dives onto Ziggler outside of the ring. Ziggler hangs up Seth Rollins on the ropes, and Ziggler kicks Seth into the post and nails a DDT to Rollins on the apron. Rollins goes for a frog splash, but Ziggler counters with a roll-up and gets a 2. Rollins nails a top rope reverse suplex and a slam and gets a 2 count as well. Drew McIntyre sends Dean Ambrose into the steps. Rollins gets distracted and Dolph nails a zigzag, but that gets a 2. Rollins starts to bleed. Dean Ambrose nails a dirty deeds to Drew outside of the ring, and then Rollins nails a super kick and a stomp to Dolph Ziggler, and he is your new WWE Intercontinental Champion. This was an Intercontinental Championship match that I definitely recommend watching. Great match in general, but also one of the best Intercontinental matches of SummerSlam history. Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler, SummerSlam 2018. We now go to our first and only women's match on the card. There were a lot of good women's matches at SummerSlam, but I don't think any stood up to par to this one. This match came in 2019. Charlotte Flair taking on Trish Stratus. And to me, this was a great match because icon versus icon, in my opinion, generation versus generation. I always look forward to those matches. Trish is my favorite women's wrestler of all time. So to have her compete at SummerSlam, I was very excited. So let's go to the action. Trish starts with a Thez press and nails a Hurricane Rana. She sends Charlotte to the outside. Trish then kicks Charlotte through the ropes and nails air candle off the apron to Charlotte outside the ring. Flair drops Trish's face on the steps, and then Flair sends Trish into the railing. Flair nails a suplex toss, and then Flair chokes Trish in the ropes. Charlotte nails a big boot to Trish Stratus, knocking her off the top rope to the outside. Trish hits a springboard flatliner, and then she slaps Charlotte Flair. Charlotte kicks Trish's leg. Trish nails chops. Charlotte and Trish both fight on the top rope. Trish is able to nail Hurricane Rana off the top and gets a 2 count. Trish rolls up Charlotte, gets a 2. Trish applies a figure 4 into a figure 8. She then nails a Stratus faction and gets a 2 count. So much action. Trish nails a chick kick, gets a 2. Charlotte attacks the leg and then is able to apply the figure 8. And unfortunately, my favorite has to tap out. Trish Stratus loses. Charlotte Flair is the winner, but both women won that match. Great match. Definitely remembered it. Worth watching again. Charlotte Flair versus Trish Stratus, SummerSlam 2019. Next, we have a very strange SummerSlam. It was the first SummerSlam without any fans. SummerSlam 2020. What a crazy year 2020 was with the COVID pandemic and everything going on around the world. So this SummerSlam had a different feel to it. The WWE Champion Drew McIntyre defending against Randy Orton. Let's dive into exactly what happens here. Randy keeps running from Drew. Drew is able to attack Randy in the corner. However, Randy sends Drew's shoulder first into the ring post. Randy sends Drew into the barricade and announce table, and then also the ring post. Randy then is able to back suplex Drew McIntyre onto the announce table, and he does it for a second time. Drew attacks Randy's leg with a knee breaker, and then Randy kicks Drew's knee. Drew hits a spine buster. Drew McIntyre is bleeding after this attack. Both men punch one another. Drew clotheslines belly to belly, and then a launching suplex, flying clothesline. Both men are down. Drew McIntyre is in control though. Drew nails a future shock DDT to Randy Orton. That gets a 2. Drew nails a Glasgow kiss. Both men fall to the outside. Randy stands over Drew McIntyre after a dropping DDT. Randy is bleeding as well. Drew lands a power bomb. He misses a Claymore. Randy goes for an RKO, but Drew is able to roll him up and get a 3 count. Drew McIntyre retains the WWE title, outsmarting the Viper, Randy Orton. Definitely check that match out. SummerSlam 2020, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. And we are at our final match of the countdown. It has been a great time counting down these matches. Although these matches aren't in order of best, these are in chronological order of when they happened. That would be way too hard for me to pick the best SummerSlam match of all time. These are all my favorites. If you ask me, these are the best SummerSlam matches of all time. And here is the last SummerSlam that we can pick of before SummerSlam 2020, coming to you Saturday, July 30th from Nashville, Tennessee. It's going to be a great show. Check out our prediction special coming to you soon. But 2021, we had SummerSlam, Edge versus Seth Rollins. For those of you who know me, they know that Edge is my favorite wrestler. Seth Rollins is becoming my favorite wrestler, second to Edge, of course. But let's go right into the competition in the match. Edge backdrops Seth Rollins to the outside. Seth rams Edge's head into the steps, and Seth hits a neck breaker and gets a 2 count. Seth nails a sling blade. Seth hits a fox splash as well and gets a 2. Edge nails a spinning neck breaker to Seth Rollins off the top rope. That was crazy to see. Edge hits a hot shot and then a big boot execution, gets a 2. Rollins sends Edge face first into the turnbuckle pad. Edge climbs the top rope. Seth hits a superplex into a Falcon Arrow, and that gets a 2 as well. Rollins calls for a stomp. Edge moves. Edge hits a glam slam and gets a 2 count. Edge speared Seth Rollins off the apron to the outside. Edge then sends Seth into the LED board on the apron. Again, that gets a 2. Edge gets ready to go for the spear, but Rollins counters into a pedigree, and that gets a 2 count. Rollins then nails a blow to Edge's neck. We all know the injury there, and he nails a second blow. He super kicks Edge's head, and then Rollins goes for the stomp, but Edge catches it and applies an educator on Seth. He then goes for the crossface, and then Edge slams Seth Rollins' head into the mat many times, forcefully, and then Seth Rollins ends up tapping out, and Edge is declared your winner. I was happy when Edge won. But there you have it, our greatest SummerSlam matches of all time list. I'll probably come back in a year or two, probably in 2 years, and update the list, because by then, who knows, amazing matches will happen. Like I said, stay on the lookout for our SummerSlam predictions episode. We will have our SummerSlam recap as well. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay notified when new content is created. Follow us on that. You can do that on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, and wherever podcasts are streaming. And that is it. Stay safe. We are the Uncensored Podcast. I'm Ant, and enjoy SummerSlam 2022 and enjoy these matches. Definitely check these out. Stay safe. Bye, y'all.